My name is Audrey Hare. I attended Futrall Road Elementary School, Rehoboth Road Middle School, and now I am a senior at Spalding High School. So I started on the piano when I was young, around maybe kindergarten, first grade age. And so when we would have the music class at Futrall, sometimes the teacher would have us take out these keyboards and we would kind of play along in like a keyboard book. But the teacher was aware of my kind of like heightened talent in that, so she kind of just let me practice my own stuff. And then also when I went to Program Challenge, sometimes I would play on the piano for them, whether it was like during lunch or after it was over. So when I was in middle school, there was a day where one of the old band directors there, her name was Miss Dennison, we had just gotten done with our recorder karate because we had to start on recorder first before we moved to an actual wind instrument. And she had us walk through in a line, and we were able to try a flute and a trumpet. And so I actually didn't end up getting up to play the flute, but I got to play the trumpet. And she was like, "Oh, you'd make like a good trumpet player, just a brass player in general." So yes, I did pick up the trombone. I really enjoyed it. I loved doing the little pep band things for the middle school football team. Just the whole vibe about being in like a group where I felt like I belonged and like we kind of shared the same talent and the same mindset about things really helped me throughout the entirities of middle school. I felt like I always had like a friend group that I was able to belong in. Moving into high school, there was a band director named Mr. Watford. He was a huge part of my success now and who I am as a person and a musician. When I was in 8th grade, he had took me under his wing, basically, and he started giving me free lessons after school, with our main goal being to get me into the all-state band for Georgia, because my 7th grade year I didn't make it, and I had ended up telling him, and so one of his students at the time ended up reaching out to me and was like, "Hey, Mr. Watford said that he would love to give you these lessons." And I was like, "Okay, sure, like I'll do that." And so that's what we did, and I made all-state my 8th grade year. I widely credit that to him, and yeah. I feel like GSCS has nurtured my passion for music in a way, kind of like they've exposed me to certain places and situations where I can perform for the community. Like recently it was Made in Griffin, I think it was last year. Miss Jenny Wilson, the Fine Arts Coordinator for GSCS, she invited me to perform at that event. So that was one of my first really solo public performances, and it really helped me grow as a performer. It really helped me step out of my box. And also there was another time I was invited to a board meeting where I got to play, and they kind of got to get the gist of why I'm so passionate about it and really just what I do on the horn. Well, I remember one time in 2nd grade, I had a teacher and her name was Mrs. Lalamere. I was one of those kids who really struggled with math when I was younger. It was definitely my least favorite subject. But there was one day I had this little diary, journal, whatever you want to call it. And I had like taped down some coins with clear tape. And I don't know if I like made a letter or like a word out of it, but I remember I was waiting to get called for my bus, and as we were sitting in the hallway, she came and she sat down beside me, and she was like, "How much is that in money?" And I was like, And so obviously I was having a little bit of trouble, and she literally just sat there and she would help me count through it and like figure out how to do it. And that was one of the moments that I was like, she cares, you know? Like, if I need help, she'll give it to me. And I just felt really seen. Like, that played a huge role on just me now, me in the future, being confident, asking for help and stuff like that. So after I graduate high school, I'm planning on attending college. I'm not sure what school yet, but at the end of the day, I would like to obtain a job with an army band or something of the sort, or a major orchestra. So the schools that I have as options right now are Columbus State University, University of Miami, Cleveland Institute of Music, and the Manhattan School of Music. I would like to say my counselor, Dr. Khan, she will occasionally send out the emails about like scholarships that I can apply for, which definitely helps tuition-wise when it comes to furthering my education, and also just the genuine encouragement that I'm able to get from especially my fine arts teachers about my future in music and what all I'm involving myself in definitely helps keep me pushing. If I had any advice to give my younger self, I would definitely tell young Audrey to continue pursuing her passion, even if people may consider it nerdy or just a fun little hobby to do, because it can be, but it can also be something super serious. So if you are serious about it and you are seriously passionate and dedicated, and if it makes you feel good, you should continue with it and not worry about the societal norms or standards or cliques or whatever's going on at the moment. The advice that I would give my future self is to remain humble and kind in everything that you do. I would like to say that GSCS has benefited me through its teachers, especially due to the hard process that I had to go through with college applications and pre-screen recordings, which is basically like a pre-audition. So they were willing to acclimate to my schedule and like my needs and prioritize those even over school stuff.